All right, so let's just go ahead and get started with my intention for all of you today. I have two intentions for today. And the first intention is I want to update you all on the galactic news, galactic information. This is kind of like a galactic report on what's going on with humanity, what's going on with you at an individual level, and what's going on at a universal level within the Galactic Federation as well. I think right now we all really need that galactic reporting, I want to say, and hopefully that eases your mind. The second intention that I have for all of you today as well is I want to unlock your DNA. I really want you to leave this feeling a lot more enlightened, but also processing the new vibrational frequency that you receive from this. So I always say, take it really easy on yourself after this sort of event and this channeling, just because this is coming from a very high source. And that's why I get all jitty and awkward and nervous as well, because I have no idea what to expect from today. I do want to remind you, if you showed up on the last Galactic Federation event, we had 4 beings that came through. I'm just going to say their names and their species just in case they want to come through again. So we had Sasha coming through. I've worked with Sasha for quite some time. Sasha is a reptilian being, but she is of the good. She's actually a reptilian rebel, and she helped me many years ago break down the reptilian bases and some of the secret shadow government bases as well around the planet. So she's awesome. We also had Bhakta come through, and she was of the Suri species. I've never actually encountered that species before. All these beings work for the Galactic Federation. I'm not going to be channeling the Palladian Security Council today. I'm going to be channeling any other being that wants to step through, and there's already a freaking crowd. So I'm excited for that. And Bhakta helped with biology, genetics. She was talking about the DNA activations in the last download. Then we had Verge, like Convergence, who was a mantis being. He was really awesome with timeline jumping, and a lot of the stuff that he said back then has actually really happened to me in the past month. And then last but not least, we had Garu, who is a Lyran being, a part of the rebel force, a part of the warriors, and also a part of the peace treaty and a military leader. So that's who we had last time. Let's deep dive and let's see who comes through this time. I do have a couple of questions that I would like to start off with, just asking in general, the Galactic Federation, and that's kind of the funnel into the information or what beings step through. So I'll ask for the being species, I'll ask for their name, I'll ask for their dimension, and I'll ask for their role within the Galactic Federation. So anytime you really resonate with a being that comes through today, you feel free to call upon them by name as well, especially if they really resonate. Okay. So the first question that really came to me when I was meditating before this is, where are we at in the master plan? That's what I want to know, just personally curious. I'm sure all of you want to know that too. And when I say where are we at in the master plan, I mean in the greater than the 3D plan, the greater than the 4D plan. Where are we at in the master plan of humanity? I mean, clearly shit's going down, shit's moving. So where are we at in all of that? So let me just go ahead and bring in whoever needs to come in to answer that question. So 1 second. Interesting. Okay. Fantastic. All right. So I have a being that steps through here, brand new being. I've definitely interacted with their species before, but I've never interacted with this being in particular. This is it's hard to tell the gender actually. I want to say this is a male, Arcturian being. So blue skin, huge blue head, and it's a deep blue. Octurians can look many different ways. Kind of a humanoid body, but shorter, smaller than most of the other beings within the Galactic Federation. And the Octurians within the Galactic Federation work with timelines, okay? So when I ask, where are we at in the master plan, it's a no-brainer that the Octurians were gonna be the ones to come through. Of course, I didn't know that. Let's just see, I mean, they were giving me all this information about humanity and where we're at right now. Let me just talk to them personally and see what their name is, what dimension they're in, and what their specific role is within the Galactic Federation. So 1 second. Okay. Okay, great. Okay, so it's really funny because when I asked him his name, obviously telepathically, he was kind of taken aback. I think typically when I connect with the Galactic Federation, I'm not really asking them about, hey, what do you do on a daily basis? Like, what's your name? You know, it's not, I'm like, give me the information, what's up? So he was kind of taken aback, and he said that the Octurians they resonate more with symbols than they do with names. So I said, okay. And so he said, you guys can call me G, literally. And the visual that I got was a capital G. And I think that he really resonates with the symbol or the symbology of a G. I have no idea what that symbology is. Maybe you can Google it after this. But yeah, so he said, call me G. Pretty cool, pretty gangster of him. He doesn't get that joke. So G, and then what else did he say? He said he's in the 6th dimension frequency. He works on board a giant mothership, Galactic Federation mothership, and he works with a council. And the majority of the beings, he works with 4 other Octurian beings. I'm just seeing the visuals now. And he said that the council is called the Interventionalist Council or the Intervention Council. And basically what they do specifically is, once again, they overview Earth's timelines and they determine what the best timeline is going to be moving forward, right? So that's kind of who he is and what he does. And he gets very awkward when I talk about his personal stuff because maybe he's just not used to it. So I think that's really funny. Really, honestly, the Palladians are a lot more personable. And it's funny because he's giving me like, you know, a frowny face. Okay. Yes. Now let's get into the information that he was originally giving me about humanity. All the information that comes to me is visual. That's how they communicate to me. That's how I pick up on their information. So I'm literally translating a visual download to words for you. So it's, you know, some things get lost in translation. This is what he showed me. He said, right now, planet Earth as a collective is taking many deviated pathways. Okay, we're going on many, we're hopping so rapidly. Think about the Mandela effect. Think about 3D, 5D glitches, okay? But now think about 3D, 5D, 6D, 8D, you know, and all the infinite different parallel realities that we could potentially hop into, just like choosing the pink pen or the blue pen, right? I mean, it's so infinite. So they overview all of the timelines and they determine, should we intervene or should we not intervene? Is planet Earth going down their collective appropriate timeline and contract collectively, or are they being deviated? Therefore, do we need to step in? And he was even telling me that they've had to really watch the timelines very closely recently. Like, this is the time when things can not necessarily like get messed up, but this is the time when it's possible we just go off, you know, on our own little timeline because we're getting manipulated and controlled, and there's a lot of fear, right? Humanity isn't clear consciously right now, so they really have to watch us. And so he said that when they do choose to intervene, and it's funny because I'm going to ask him for a specific example. I love when they give me specific examples of what have you intervened in recently? Like, now I'm just curious, so I'll ask him that. But he basically was saying that right now they are intervening, and the way that they intervene is in a non-interventionalist way. Of course, they're the Galactic Federation. They can't just step in and say, whoa, 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 humanity, you don't want to do that. That's not a good path to go down. They can't just do that. They can't just come down from the sky and give us a telepathic message. Well, I guess they do with me, but for humanity, they can't. So what he said is, there are key players, and he gave me this visual, whether it be in mass media, whether it be in politics, whether it be in, I guess, mass media and politics right now, but the big influential players within society, they have these key players that are channelers that may not actually realize they're channeling, okay? Kind of like Nikola Tesla. I don't know if he ever knew that he was channeling interdimensionals. I don't know if Albert Einstein ever knew that he was channeling interdimensionals, right? So anyway, so there's these key players, and what he said was they give them this download or this information, whether it be through just like an aha moment throughout their day or at nighttime in dream, right? They'll get this download and then they take action, right? These key players are getting these messages from this Arcturian council, this interventionalist council, to take action to steer humanity in a different way, right? In a really positive way. So that's how, so he's saying that they are intervening, but in a non-interventionalist way, not forcing humanity to do anything, but influencing on the back end. Very interesting, very sneaky the way they do it. But once again, it's for our highest good, right? It really is. So let me ask him now, because I'm just curious, what is an example of intervening recently that they went through? So just one second, let me take a look here. Let's see if he will tell me. Interesting. Okay. Okay. So he's telling me, but he's not telling me. But this is really interesting. He's talking about politics. Obviously, we know the American election is right around the corner. I'm sure a lot of you aren't American, so it's no big deal. But we also have to realize that what's happening in America is being disseminated all throughout the world. We've kind of seen these themes in the past couple of years. So what he said, this is very fascinating. He said that he actually brought up JFK. I'm not a political buff. I don't really know what happened, especially in American politics. I just, don't really care as much. But so he was talking about JFK, and he was saying there was a related example where JFK, the shooting of JFK needed to happen. That's what he said. I mean, hopefully you guys are like up in arms about this, but the shooting of JFK needed to happen. And that was a timeline that they needed to make sure we were on in order for the ripple effect from the shooting of JFK to kind of change and move and whatever humanity. I also believe, he didn't say this, but I'm going to say this as a human, I also believe that 9/11 needed to happen in a lot of ways. Yeah, it was a really terrible event that the government set up. I mean, let's just be real. But it needed to happen to wake the people up, right, to the manipulation that's going on. So he's kind of mentioning this JFK shooting, very similar to what's about to happen in politics right now. So he's being very coy because he's saying right now they have a huge focus on American politics, and they have a huge focus on making sure the right timeline happens within this political unfolding within the next couple of months. I'm just going to poke him a little bit more to see if he can tell me anything more about that. He probably won't, but let's just see if he does. And then we'll move on to someone else. So one second. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, so he's not being very clear, but he also said something along the lines of, this is very interesting. The Galactic Federation as a whole is playing a game with the world secret government elites, And the game that they're playing is convincing the New World Order secret government elites that what they're doing is unstoppable, that they can just do whatever they want to do. And the Galactic Federation is almost so interesting because they're above it all, because they're above the polarity. It's like they're playing with the shapeshifters of this world, and they're saying, oh no, we can't stop you. Oh no, that really sucks. When really the game that the shadow government is playing is the Galactic Federation's game. So how funny is it that, you know, if we just think about 4D and conspiracy, we get really freaked out saying, oh my God, all these people are just puppets being played by the shadow government, and we can't stop that, when really the shadow government are really just puppets for the Galactic Federation. They're just pawns in the huge game, and the shadow government thinks that they're getting away with something, when really the Galactic Federation is sitting back saying, yeah, keep going, keep doing your thing. Yeah. You're really pulling one over on humanity. Yeah. But the whole time, the GFL knows exactly what they're up to, exactly what their plan is. And that's why it always comes back to me of, I'm always very relaxed. This whole year, I've been very relaxed about what's going on within humanity, ultimately, because this is going to the GFL plan. This is going to the ultimate plan for the highest good of all involved. We're on the right path. And the shadow government is just kind of being, they're being completely played right now. They have no idea. They think that they're really kind of getting their grips over us. And if we feed into that narrative, then they do have their grips over us, if that makes sense. Thank you so much, G, for coming through. Anyone who wants to know more about intervention, non-intervention, and timelines, you guys can call upon G. And he said he's pretty open. He's very like divine masculine, very like, but most, you know, Arcturians, they have a lot of love, but yeah, he's very structured in his answers. Okay, good. Okay, let's see what other, oh yeah. So I want to ask at an individual level, where are we at with the 3D, 5D shift? Where are we at with the shifting of the dimensions of the vibrations? And what do we need to know about the 3D, 5D shift? We've all been going through crazy ascension symptoms. Yeah, so what do we need to know about that? That's what I'm going to ask, and let's see who comes through. So 1 second. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so we've got a friend coming through here at this time, and this is Bhakta, who is of the Suri species. She's beautiful. She looks very aquatic in her nature, in her body. You know, almost, yeah, like aquatic, but humanoid aquatic, very high, highly advanced species. Her planet comes from a far, far away, and she's also very rare, even within the Galactic Federation. I've never seen a Suri species before. She's my first one that I've encountered. Yeah, and so she comes through again. So she is a master geneticist and biologist, okay? And because she is of a very rare species, she's always been very curious about biology. So she really got into that. So of course, when I asked about the 3D, 5D shift, Bhakta comes through right away. And for those of you who want to write down her name, it's BUHK-TA, Bhakta. And then her species, which once again, very rare, is called Suri, S-U-R-I, Suri. Okay, so here's the information that she brought through. Yeah, very interesting. Okay, so she said that right now, as we're transitioning, evolving, advancing from 3rd dimension frequency through to 4th dimension frequency into 5D frequency, she was mentioning the roller coaster ride that we're on right now. And she's saying that there's 2 main things that are happening, and it makes sense. The first thing that's happening is we're getting upgraded and activated in our vibration, in our energy. Our soul is getting upgraded and activated. Makes sense. That's what we're made of. Now, the other thing that's getting upgraded and activated is our physical body, right? So we've got 2 major activations happening at the same time. So she said, and of course, in order to get activated, in order to unlock that DNA, what do we need to do? We need to purge out all of the shit at a physical and vibrational level that doesn't serve us. So she was saying that this is the key part right here that's really important for all of you to know. We have the ability to control when the activations happen and when they don't happen. And she said, Bhakta was saying, that when we activate the physical body and the vibrational energy at the same time, we're out, we're down for the count, right? So we're in bed, we're having the physical pains and aches and exhaustion and headaches and weird stomach issues and whatever it may be. So all the physical awakening symptoms and ascension symptoms, along with all of the vibrational shifts and the downloads and the aha moments as well. So that will literally just drain us. It will put us down for the count. It will put us in bed. I don't know about you guys, but I just spent a week in bed. So I know what that's like. Bhakta is saying that it doesn't need to be that forceful. It doesn't need to feel that out of our control in a sense, okay? So it's really important. So she's saying that we have the ability to ask for and to control when we have the physical activations and upgrades and when we desire and want the energetic activations and upgrades to occur. Once again, the physical are gonna come with a slew of physical issues. It could be rashes on your skin. It could be allergens that you never had before. It could be anything, okay? So it's kind of like, and then the vibrational and energetic upgrades are all of the emotions and the crying and the sensitivities and the purging out energies and the aha moments and all of that as well. And that's very ungrounding. Okay, so let me ask her, what do we need to do? If we can control this and when this happens, what do we need to do in order to control it? Okay, so 1 second. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay, cool. So she has a recommendation. This is totally up to you guys, whether you want to take it or leave it, but this is a really great suggestion. She is showing me this image of one of those like giant wall calendars. You know what I mean? And she's saying that all of us, myself included, because I don't have this, we need to have an activation calendar. That's what she's calling it. Like literally, we're all activating into 5D. Like it would be kind of helpful to not only know when these activations are going to occur, but actually being able to control when the activations are going to occur. So what she said was activation calendar. So she said the best thing to set an intention for is monthly, okay? If we're trying to set an intention every day of like, today I want to do the body, tomorrow I want to do the vibration, it's not enough time, okay? It's not enough time to really sink in and surrender to those activations. So she said what she recommends, of course, take it or leave it, is monthly activations. So maybe this month, right, for the next month until the next GFL event, you want to have the physical activations. You're like, you know what? I'm still in quarantine. I'm not really doing much physically. I want the physical activations. So then you block off the month of September or what have you as the month of physical activations. So what you all need to be very seriously aware of is, how does my diet change? What does my body need? Am I hot or am I cold? Do I need more layers? Do I need a massage? You know, do I need more water, right? You need to really focus on the physical and what your body is asking for if you are focusing on physical activations. Then what she said, once again, showing me this giant calendar, and I don't know if she's just recommending that you should all get a physical giant calendar and mark it off as what you want per activation. She said that every time you get an activation symptom, which is what she's calling it, an awakening symptom, mark it down on your calendar. Oh, today I had aches and pains in my legs. And you know what that's going to allow you all to do is you're going to step back from the month saying, wow, what a crazy month of activations. I had headaches for 3 days here. I had shooting leg pain for 2 days here. I had no appetite for a week here. I had a crazy appetite for a week here. And that's going to allow you to see the bigger picture of what's going on in your body, which is also going to allow you to take your power back from feeling like, oh my goodness, what's happening to me? I'm not in control of this. And that's going to actually also allow you to be the teacher. So when you have friends and family members all coming to you with weird, crazy symptoms, you can let them know what's going on as long as they're receptive to that. Likewise, when you block a whole month off saying, you know what, I've done the physical, my body needed yoga, so I did hot yoga for a whole month or whatever it may be, great. Now I'm ready for my energetic, emotional, vibrational activations. Then you set off a whole month for energetic vibrational activations. Be very aware of where your mindset is, where your consciousness is, where your awareness is, where your emotions and your reactions are. And that's going to really help you align and attune to the energetic activations. Same thing with the physical body. Instead of saying, hey, Elizabeth, what do you need physically? Food, water, shelter, sleep? What is it? Energetically, hey, Elizabeth, what do you need? Do you need support? Do you need a hug? Do you need self-love? Do you need to write in a journal? So that way it doesn't feel so overwhelming going through these activations. And Bhakta keeps telling me that we're going to continue to feel these activations for the next 3 years, okay? There's going to be times when it's bad, when it's good. We're going to continue to be on this roller coaster ride. A lot of us are stepping into a brand new cycle for 2021, which is awesome. And we all feel this buildup of like, what's going to happen in 2021? But, not to let you down, it's going to be a lot of the same physical reality that you're seeing here with the quarantine and the political issues and the environmental issues. There's going to be a lot of that continuing. There's going to be a lot of the ups and downs continuing for 2021. And, what Bhakta is saying for the next 3 years. Okay, so strap in, and that aligns to the 2020 to 2024 timelines. The higher a perception you have, the easier it will go. And last thing I want to ask Bhakta is, what does she recommend, right? I mean, we're going to all, like myself included, we're all in this, we're all going through it. What do you recommend, Bhakta, to allow this process, other than the calendar and taking control of it and setting intentions and being aware of what you want and when you want it, which is great. What else does she recommend for allowing this process to be easy? Okay, 1 second. Makes sense. Okay. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Okay. 2 things she really recommends on top of what she already recommended. One, and this is very profound and it makes sense. And of course, we've all heard this before, but she said the words, center yourself. How do we make this process easier? Freaking center yourself, okay? And she was giving me this visual. And I want you actually, if you're writing notes, please draw this. It's the 8, the figure 8, but the figure 8 is the infinity, okay? And the infinity symbol, I don't know how to explain it. It's a whole thing, but energetically, vibrationally, where the infinity, where that 8 crosses over is called 0-point frequency. It's complete neutrality. So if you're ascending to 5D, you're anchoring into 3D, what's going to allow all of that to take place naturally and organically? Centering yourself, being in the middle of that infinity. Okay, everything's going to still be moving and going on around you, but as long as you're centering yourself, it's going to really help you anchor in those new vibrational frequencies. Oh yeah, the second thing that she recommended and mentioned is, this is just a reminder for all of you. I try and remind you guys this often, but she's bringing it up. And it's, you always have the free will and you always have the power to say no, okay? I don't know why this is bringing me like emotions. So a lot of you are going through this awakening. A lot of you have never even thought about aliens until maybe you saw my content, or maybe until 2020, right? Which is really cool, and welcome to the tribe. A lot of you have been on this journey for 20 years. But what I'm seeing is a lot of you want to awaken so rapidly, and I get a little bit concerned just personally about your mental health, right? And I get concerned because it is just as important to be human as it is to be awakened and aware, right? So to have the power to say, whoa, I feel a little bit crazy. I feel a little bit ungrounded. I feel a little bit loopy here, right? To be able to say that and to say, I want to stop the upgrade right now. That's okay. That upgrade is always going to be waiting there for you. And once you want to start the upgrade back up again, that's there for you, okay? You have the free will, you have the power to say no. You have the power to say, this is too much. I need to take a break. That's okay. If you just want to chill and be human and watch a bunch of Netflix, that's okay, guys. Okay, so she's bringing that up. The free will and the power to say no is huge within your awakening. Because the last thing I want to see is any one of you, I don't want to say losing your mind a little bit, but raising your vibration so rapidly you don't know how to navigate and come back down. And that can be very detrimental for your soul and very fearful for your soul as well. Okay, so I'm just trying to avoid all of that for you guys. Awesome. Okay, so my next question is, what should we all be doing in the next month, right? So these Galactic Federation events and summits are month to month. So of course, what should we all be doing in the next month until the next, the summit, right? So here we are, we're in September, and then we'll be moving slightly into October. Lots of stuff, lots of movement, political stuff as well, you know, upheaval in society. What should we all be doing at an individual level for the next month? Let's ask the GFL and see who comes through. So just 1 second. Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, okay. I'm getting so emotional. Okay. So right away, so here I am, I'm astral traveling right onto this ship. As you guys know, it takes 2 seconds for me to go anywhere in the universe, which is pretty unfathomable. But I'm here on the ship, I'm astral traveling, and immediately there's this boy. And that's who he is. He's a boy. I'll explain what he looks like. He looks very human, but slightly different. He's quite short. I would say he's probably around my height. He's probably like 5 feet tall, right? He's like, I don't know, he's just a shorty. But he's young. He's still like, how old is he? He's saying he's about 10, maybe 10 to like 14, somewhere around there. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes. So he looks human, but he's actually a hybrid. And he is what they call an Essassani hybrid, or a Sassani hybrid, depending on who you're talking to. So these hybrid beings are part human, part gray. And so what he looks like, he's so cute. He doesn't like being called cute. He's scrawny, little, like he's just petite. He looks like a 10-year-old, 12-year-old boy, but he has a much longer face than, you know, typical humans. His skin is paler than typical humans, like kind of like a pale, like gray, I guess. Not as gray, but pale. And he has dark hair, short cut, but he has hair. And his eyes are quite large. His nose is quite small. His mouth is also small as well. And he steps through. So when I ask, what should we be doing for the next month? He steps in. And the first thing he said, and I had to stop him because he was so excited to talk. And honestly, like tapping into the hybrid children give me so many emotions because I freaking love them so much. And I'm going to get emotional again just talking about it. Okay. They're just so beautiful. Okay. Yes, here's what he was saying. He's very logical and analytical, and he's obsessed with studying humanity. So every hybrid child has a different, you know, soul essence to them, just like human beings, but he loves understanding humans. And because he's so advanced intellectually, he's got the mind, like these hybrid children have IQs of like 250, like they're like next level. So he's been studying humanity, our emotions and our reactions and where we're at right now. It's so interesting. So he said that he has a message for us, which is so cool. So before I get him to continue with his message and his observations, and I want to say he's cute, but he doesn't like being called that. Okay, so yeah, before I get that, I want to get a name from him. I want to get a dimension, and I want to get like, what does he do within the Galactic Federation? Like you wouldn't think that he has a job at such a young age, but he's so skilled in what he knows that maybe he does. So let's just get a little more personal information and then we'll go to him for answers. So 1 second. Okay. Okay, okay. Oh, yes, okay. Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. Okay, okay, cool, cool, awesome. Okay, so his name came through. The first name that came through is Timmy, which is so cute. Also not cute. I know he's listening. Or Timothy. And I asked him, I said, why did you choose this name? Because they get to choose their own name. And I said, why did you choose Timothy? He doesn't like Timmy. Some people call him Timmy, but he doesn't like it. Timothy, to be more professional. And I said, why did you choose this name? And it was so beautiful, his response. He said, he chose the name Timothy because his father, his human father on planet Earth, his name is Timothy. And he's, upon observing humanity, has observed that some humans take on their father's name. So it would be Timothy Jr., but he doesn't like the junior. He has a resistance to being small and cute and young. He just hates it. And I feel him 100% because he's wise beyond his years. So Timothy, so his father's name is Timothy. Let me ask him if his father, his human father, is aware of him. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. He said, no, he's not, but he really wishes that he was, right? So I just want to like let all of you know that it's very common to take um, reproductive ingredients, okay, this is what I'm going to call it, reproductive ingredients from either a female human or a male human in order to do their hybridization on board the ships. So yeah, he's saying that his fascination with human beings and studying human behavior is because he has a human father and he tunes into his father quite often. Super interesting, really nice. Okay. And then I asked him, I said, what do you do, Timothy? Like, what do you do? Like, what, you're obviously very wise beyond your years. What do you do? He said that, he said that he doesn't have a job right now, which is probably a good thing because he's still very young. He said that he is getting trained for a position. He said that no one listens to him on board the ships because they all just think he's like a young child. And I'm like, I hear you. And then what did he say? He also gave me the images, the flashing images of a day in the life of Timothy, which is really nice. And he said that he loves um, going to different council meetings and he asks permission to sit in on these council meetings related to Earth, planet Earth, even though no one listens to him. So he doesn't really say anything in the meetings because they don't listen to him anyway because he's just a kid. He observes, like he's like this sponge right now. He's taking it all in. It's so fascinating. He also does sit into classes. He gets trained on the Galactic Federation ship. He gets trained for planet Earth. He's saying that he knows pretty much everything that they're teaching him, so he gets very bored very easily, and that makes sense. I said to him, I said, so you don't really have a position right now, but you're getting trained for a position. So what excites you the most, Timothy? What would you love to do? If you could do anything on board the Galactic Federation ship, what would it be? And he gave me an answer quite promptly. And he said, oh, yes, what was it? Yeah. Um, okay, sitting on a council and being an advisor for Earth-human relations. Okay, so an advisor for anything planetary, for anything human. Let me just ask, I'm just curious now. I just want to ask him, like, I was going to ask him, like, why do you think that you understand humans so well? But once again, his father, he's been observing his father. Okay, I'm just going to ask him before we get to, like, what do you think we should be doing in the next month? I want to ask him, where do you think humans are going wrong right now? I'm so freaking curious to ask him this question. Where do you think humans are going wrong right now? Because he's pretty good at observing without emotion. So let's just take a look here. He's like, how long do we have? He's got a lot of things apparently that we're doing wrong, but let's just see what the most important ones are. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, and this makes a lot of sense. Here's what he said. He said that where he believes humans are going wrong the most is, this is what he said verbatim, we lead with emotions. He said, it's remarkable, and it really just blows his mind how much emotion is embedded within every facet of this society, whether it be religious or political or environmental or government or what have you. He said that moving forward, there needs to be a clear separation between objective observation on what humanity needs the most collectively and the separation between the emotions, which he said is okay to have, but it's good to have the emotions within a belief system, right? So feeling the connection to source, feeling the connection to your neighbor or your friend or your mother or your parent or what have you. And he said, emotions are fine, but there needs to be a clear separation and boundary. He said that when we do use emotion, it's typically through lower vibrational frequencies of fight or flight. And he was also bringing up all of the issues that are wrong with the religious systems and the belief system. He says, even when you guys were given a belief system of a higher power or a higher energy, it was all skewed and all messed up. So he basically says humans have been so led astray. He's actually quite impressed that we're awakening to the truth right now at this time. So this is good. He's got a positive view at the end of the day. Let's see what he suggests. I love him. Oh yeah, I didn't get a name for him yet. Oh no, Timothy. Yeah, Timothy. Okay, cool. So let me ask Timothy what he recommends for the next month for all of us. He's quite brilliant. I'm definitely going to be using him as a resource moving forward. Actually, he would get really excited if you guys called upon him moving forward as well, because he loves working and observing humans. So if you have to give him permission to observe you, if that's okay with you, if you feel in resonance with Timothy, yeah, okay, cool. Let's just take a look here. What do you recommend, Timothy, for the next month for all of us humans here on this planet? Yeah, 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 exactly. Okay. Okay, this makes a lot of sense. So he has sat in on a lot of even Arcturian councils, just like with G, to understand where the trajectory of the planet is going as well. So he doesn't just know how humans are and react and respond, he knows where we're going planetarily as well. And this is what he said. He said, the best advice that I can give all of you is staying neutral, which we heard as well from Bhakta. But he said, okay, he said that we have our own individual reality, and then we have the collective co-created reality around us. He said the collective co-created reality around us is shifting so rapidly, and it's getting injected with so much fear and manipulation and chaos that even if we dip our toe in the collective reality right now, we're going to be hit with this transport truck of energy and chaos and confusion and fear and low vibrational frequency. It's kind of like you just thinking, let's just check out the mainstream news. You know, it's been a couple months and all of a sudden you're just hit with this heavy, heavy energy, right? So he's saying it's really important for all of us. And he's not just recommending this for this next month. He's recommending this for the next 3 months, very specifically is what he said. And he said it's very important that we all remove ourselves from the collective reality and we focus on the internal. And we focus on the neutrality internally as well. So maybe that's going out in nature, right? Because you get 0 point frequency and neutrality from nature. He also is mentioning stay away from anyone else's reality. I'm going to repeat that. Stay away from anyone else's reality. You guys know, friends, family members who are in a low vibration fear frequency right now, they are going to try and pull you in. They're going to try and wrap you into their reality and their fear and their, they're going to be manipulating you without you even being aware of it. Okay. So he's saying back off completely, stay in your own frequency, maintain your own reality, and remove yourself from the collective reality. He says, however, that you are able to consciously project a collective co-created reality for the future without being in the current collective co-created reality. So you remove yourself from what's going on right now in the world. You maintain your own internal vibration. You do the work that you need to do internally. And then you're like, you know what? I want freedom for every human being on this planet for the future. That's what I want. You know, you can help out the collective without being in it right now. If you're in it, you're going to get sucked in. Okay. Even I'm not strong enough to like be above the freaking collective co-created crazy World War III polarity reality that we're currently in. Okay. It's not that we're weak. It's just, we're not strong enough to battle the 3D world. And he's saying, you don't have to. You don't have to battle the 3D world. Just elevate yourself into your own reality, into your own 5D frequency. Don't worry about the rest of the world. It's not your fight right now. And if it is, you're going to be doing that in the astral. And I've mentioned that before. Okay. Oh, good. He feels so good about being able to communicate. Oh, he also says, and I know I shouldn't be saying oh because he doesn't like that, but he also says that he feels heard. He feels seen and heard by all of you. So he's very much so in appreciation of you guys showing up and hearing him out. And he is going to be a freaking force to be reckoned with in the future. And I'm going to keep a firm eye on Timothy for sure, because he's powerful. And I'm very excited to see where he ends up. So awesome. Thank you so much, Timothy. Let's see who else wants to come through. I'm pretty open about the next question. Just anything else that humanity needs to know, anything else that this group or us as an individual need to know right now at this time. So 1 second, everyone. Okay. 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 Okay, interesting. So I've got like 2 beings that are coming through here. So it's a lot of information all at once. Because I'm like, what do I focus on? I didn't actually realize until recently that there were 2 separate beings telling me 2 different things. I'm like, how do these relate? Okay, the first one, I kept hearing the words Galactic Treaty. If you guys have seen my Galactic Federation Human History speech, my lecture, you'll know that I believe that human beings are a living, breathing, walking, talking galactic treaty. If we can all love each other and get along, then we've proven it to all the Dracos and the Reptoids and the Anunnaki and the Palladians that this is the treaty. We are their children. So I've got Garu here, who's the Lyran, who came through last time. He's a warrior, but he also works for the Galactic Federation and also specifically works on the peace treaty. That is us, right, as human beings. And so he was bringing through this information on the Galactic Treaty. Okay, this is very fascinating. It's just a little tidbit of information, and then we'll get to the second piece here. He said that it's very interesting. The vision that he gave me, the visual that he gave me almost looked like a walk-in experience. So this is what he showed me. Just an amorphous human being. That's usually they just show me that. So it's just a human being. And like the human asks for, with their free will and their conscious awareness, asks for upgrades, you know, activations, whatever. And he actually has something specifically to ask for. And like, it literally looked like this ball of golden energy and light zooming into the human being. And the only other time that I've kind of seen that is like a walk-in experience where your higher self or your cosmic parallel self will step into your human body. But he's saying that they're kind of one and the same. So he's saying that we can at an individual level, but please don't just say, okay, I'm ready for it, activate me. Please be very, please just respect this ask and respect this activation. And don't just say, I'm ready for it. Really feel it out when it's the right time. Could be in a year from now, could be in a month from now, could be in a couple of days from now, but just sit on this before you ask, because I don't want any of you activating yourselves before you're actually really ready, because that could be very detrimental. So he said, let's just see if I can get the solid words from him. This is so good. Okay, here it is. I choose to activate my piece or fractal of the Galactic Peace Treaty. I choose to activate my piece or fractal of the Galactic Peace Treaty. Yeah. And that right there is what he's saying is going to bring in this element of remembrance. That's what it is. It's not necessarily like a walk-in. It's not a scary experience at all. Some people may be, in bed for a couple of days after that activation. That's why I'm saying, please be careful of when you say it and saying it appropriately and asking for that. So you will feel it. You should be able to feel it energetically and vibrationally. And he said that that's going to allow you all to remember who you are as an interdimensional being, and to also remember why you're here as well. So a lot of you ask me all the time, what's my mission? What's my purpose? What's my soul mission? And activating your piece of the Galactic Peace Treaty is literally activating your soul mission on this planet. And the only way that we can activate things, or the first step in activating, is remembering. We can't see the sky as purple if we don't understand that it could potentially be purple, if that makes sense. We have to know that it's possible, or what's possible, or what we're asking for before we experience it. So the first step is asking for that activation, being aware of it at a logical, analytical level, that it's sitting there for you, and then listen for the response. I know not all of you can actually just channel and download and receive messages, and a lot of you are starting to, which is awesome. But maybe it's an article that you stumble across. Maybe it's a YouTube video that's recommended to you. Maybe it's a conversation that you have with a friend. Maybe it's writing and you start automatic writing. So once you ask for those activations and that piece of your soul puzzle of the Galactic Peace Treaty, the reason why you're freaking here, which is so important on your awakening journey, the activation of remembrance is so important on your awakening journey. Just like you're all starting to remember your past lifetimes, right? We need to converge all timelines in order to update ourselves to the present moment so that we are the fullest, I'm getting chills, the fullest expression of ourselves, okay? Yay, so good. Okay, cool. Thank you, Garu. Thank you for coming through. Okay, so at the same time, I had another being come through. This is a brand new being. This is a female angel, really beautiful, very super pale skin, little petite body, maybe around 5.5 feet tall. I want to say, what is she? She's etheric. Yeah, I want to say she's like 10th dimensional. So she basically lives in the ethers, but she also works in tandem with the Galactic Federation. And what she specializes in is the environment, okay? So what she does for a living, she gave me all this before at the same time that Garu was talking to me. She said that she speaks to Mother Gaia. That's what she does. She connects with Mother Gaia, this planet, which is awesome because it's really nice to hear from Mother Gaia. I'll get a name for her as well. And yeah, so here's what she was saying. Mother Gaia right now at this time, and it's important that we know this, is going through a huge transition, is going through a huge purge. So think about it this way. When you're awakening and you're unlocking your DNA at a cellular level, at a physical level, biological in your body, sometimes you get odd symptoms. Maybe, for example, one of the symptoms is like a body rash, right? I don't know why, but my skin is so itchy. And what that allows you to do in a weird kind of gross way is it allows you to shed layers of your cellular body faster than it would have originally taken place. She's mentioning this rash example as what's happening with planet Earth, Mother Gaia. So in a lot of ways we can say, oh, the environment, or like global warming, or the pole shifting, which I believe is more actually what's happening than global warming. So pole shifting, global warming, maybe we can blame the shadow governments and their energy weapons, right? I don't know what the word is, but their energy weapons, which is also happening as well. So we can get wrapped up in why this is all happening, the fires in California, the floods in, Dubai, whatever it may be, right? There's stuff happening everywhere. And so we can really ask, why is this going down? But ultimately she's saying that at a core level, this is happening because Mother Gaia needs to transition, purge, and release the energy and vibrational frequency at a biological, physical, environmental level, as well as at an energetic, vibrational level that is no longer serving her. It's a huge refresh. So even though it feels like during your awakening, you're getting sick, or you're getting worse, or you're becoming unhealthy, it may not just be that, okay? Just because it looks like Mother Gaia is suffering environmentally, she's saying that she is right on track for the rebirth that she's experiencing. So things like floods, tsunamis, volcano erupting, Arctic ice shelf breaking off and melting, earthquakes, okay, fires. These are all very, I don't want to say just natural things because they're coming from a variety of different sources, but they are happening, and they are happening in plan. Let me see if I can get a name for this angelic being, this woman, and I just want to see if there's anything else that she wants to mention about what's going on with Mother Gaia, and maybe how we can assist and help Mother Gaia as well. And it's funny, she right away, right when I said, how can we assist and help, she just brought up the, a couple months ago, I did a video on it's important that we give the crystals back to the land. It doesn't have to be all the crystals, but you have to bury a crystal to activate the energy grid, right? The electromagnetic frequency grid of the planet. So she was a part of that. I guess she gave me that information back then, but I didn't know who it was coming from. So it's really cool. So thank you for giving me that. Let's see if I can get a name for her, and anything else that she wants to mention about what can we do to assist Mother Gaia at this time. So one second. Exactly. Okay, beautiful. Great. Okay, I got a name for her. This is a translation from light language, and the name came through as Leah. Beautiful. Layah, Leah. And what else? She said a bunch of other things that we can do. She said Mother Gaia really needs to know that we're supporting her right now, just with our intentions. So if you have a tree outside your window, if you've got grass in your backyard, speak to Mother Gaia through the tree, speak to Mother Gaia through the grass. When you're walking in the woods, speak to Mother Gaia. If you don't already, this is a perfect time to do so. And just say, she said to let Mother Gaia know that I am in full support of your transition. That's what she needs. Like, there's so much polarity on the surface of her planet. There's so much going on. It's kind of like being a kid and having your parents yell at each other, right? And having your parents fight each other. It's kind of like what's going on with Mother Gaia right now. She's kind of caught in between. She needs to know that you're in support. And it's so interesting because Leah was saying that as we tell Mother Gaia that we support her, whatever you need from me, I support you. Let me know, like, guide the way, right? So maybe she gives you the download of like, you need to hug a tree, or you need to give back to the land, or you need to create a ceremony where you're bringing in light codes for her, or whatever, right? Once you tell Mother Gaia that you are of service to her, information will come about what else you need to do for her. She will give you the information. The other thing that Leah was saying is, when you support Mother Gaia and this planet, she will support you back. Okay, she will support you back. Just the other day, Yeah, just the other day, I was moving my energy, just this is a personal story, but I was bringing in source energy into my crown chakra. And as source energy moved through my body, I was pushing out all of the old vibrational frequency that wasn't serving me, especially this past week. It's been heavy. And so I moved. And then I brought all of like the sludgy gray energy that I was moving from my body, and I moved it down and out through my grounding cord and into the core of Mother Gaia. And as I was doing this, I said, thank you so much, Mother Gaia, for taking on what doesn't serve me. I'm here to assist you as well. And she told me that she needed a light code upgrade. So what I did was I started to work on the core of the planet and all of, actually, if you guys follow my Instagram, you would see the photo. That's when I was working with Mother Gaia. It's the photo of the light code grids and the portals and the vortexes. So I was working on her grid system at that time after she took on my energy. So I was supportive. It was like this back and forth, really beautiful relationship. She needs to know that all of you are supporting her. Yeah, and she will support you. So if you need her to take something from you, she is strong enough and big enough to do that for you, okay? So it's just be very intentional with Mother Gaia and connect to her. Let's just see in general if there's any last messages, and then we can close. Yeah, so good. I think that was so good. So many things all across the board. Okay, 1 second. Okay, very interesting. So I am getting a last message. This is just from my higher self, right? Which is definitely not Elizabeth. Like definitely not limited to my own limitations, but a very clear message. Typically when I get a message for the group like this, it always comes through a visual, just because it's easy to be interpreted. But I had to ask a couple questions. So the image that I got was of a flower, really beautiful flower. And then I got the image of, it's weird, but someone coming through and pressing on the petal of a flower. I don't know if you guys have ever done this in childhood or whatever, but you know that when you press on a flower petal, it damages it, right? And so then all of a sudden that petal falls to the floor, to the ground. And for whatever reason, that petal was actually a seed. And then all of a sudden a new flower sprouts out from the damaged leaf, from the damaged petal. And so I'm like, what is this? What's going on here? And the information that came through after I asked is, we are all these flowers. This is who we are. We individually represent this flower. And all of us have damaged aspects of our soul. And we just can't escape that, right? So it's important that we understand that we're shedding these petals. We're shedding these layers of ourself that are damaged, that no longer serve us. And the other thing too is if you think about, and I'm a plant, crazy plant lady, so I deal with plants all the time. When you trim the plant of its damaged leaves, it tends to flourish because it's no longer feeding all of the energy and the resources into the damaged part of it. See where I'm going with this? So when we shed these petals, when we shed these damaged leaves and they create and plant new seeds, the information that came through is we need to ask ourselves, how do we want the damaged aspects of ourselves to recreate and help us recreate the next moment? It's not just, you don't serve me, I'm getting rid of you, let's move on. Let's go deeper with our trauma. Let's go deeper with our shadow work. Let's go deeper with those damaged aspects that we're letting go. Thank you so much, ex-boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. Thank you so much for being in my life, but you no longer serve me. So I'm letting you go. And upon letting you go, this is the lesson that I'm learning. This is the thing that I'm now going to become because of what I learned through that relationship and dynamic. And I thank you for allowing me through the damage to my soul. I thank you for allowing me to grow stronger, to plant new seeds. to allow me to develop, to be this new human. Okay? So it's not just shedding the old aspects and layers of yourself. It's taking responsibility for how that affects and impacts you in the next moment. We can't just let go and walk away. That trauma, that damage will always be an aspect of ourself. So how do you want that to fit back into your life? How do you want that trauma and that aspect and that past to recreate your future? Take responsibility by being aware of the next moment and where those layers go that we shed. Thank you all so much for being here. As always, so incredible. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect, but it was brilliant. And I hope that all of you join me for the next one. Feel free to grab the recording as well after this. It should be up in the next 24 hours, the recording, if you want to re-listen and take some notes and just kind of chill on it for a little bit. But thank you all so much for being here. And hopefully I will see you next month. Bye, everyone. Thank you.